Hi, I'm Will.
Oh, and I'm Sarah.
And this is our little podcast.
About big plays.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby. We are in Italy, Verona this week.
It is Italian. It is Romeo and Juliet.
Yes. Will is actually Italian, and I scream about it all the time.
The Pesquinelli.
So. The Pesquinelli.
Northern Italian.
Yes. If that means anything to you, then you know Italy. But I am so excited to be back this week, Will.
I've missed this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I got a little burnt out by it.
Sure.
At points.
Sure.
I think I said after one, I don't remember which one, but I was like, I have nothing to say about this play.
I think it's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about this play, though.
Yeah, same. No, I don't know. We were like, oh, do we do one without guests? Do we do it? Because it's just a lot of work. We do a lot of research. We have to like read a play, watch a play every week, talk about it, produce like the marketing stuff. And so it was getting to us a little bit. But, we had a little bit of a month hiatus because.
And we were just like.
My brother got married.
Your brother got married.
Which is huge.
I was directing a show.
Yeah, you did your show.
Yeah.
Easter.
I
don't know.
And then we were just like, look, if this podcast isn't fun, what the heck is the point?
But now guess what?
We're back, baby.
We're having fun again.
I'm having fun.
I'm having fun.
Having fun already.
Love it.
So, in this episode, we're going to talk about Romeo and Juliet. Sarah's going to give you some lovely facts about the show.
Always.
I have a little quiz for her.
I have a quiz for you.
Really?
Yeah, we're quizzing each other today.
Nice. And then we'll talk about, themes, whatever.
We will.
Yeah, we will. Cast the freaking play. I have some, and we're actually talking about a specific production of Romeo and Juliet.
Yes. So,
which we're excited about.
Yeah, so why don't we, we'll just give a shout out to PBS.
Yeah, or really National Theater.
National Theater in
Great Britain.
Yeah. Yes, in Great Britain. But they're in, them and PBS hooked up, and they were like, hey, let's do this show. And it's lit because it's so, so good. I mean, it's the most incredible cast. My crush, I'm sure I've said Josh O'Connor from The Crown, who's incredible, is Romeo. And then, I didn't really know anyone else in the cast, but they were amazing. And it's like an hour and a half, and it's free on PBS. We literally didn't even have to log in. We just went into PBS and just watched it. And it's so cinematic and beautiful, and everyone is so good in the production. Watch that. Or if you're not going to watch that, watch Leonardo DiCaprio's Romeo plus Juliet. It's incredible.
Do you like that?
I love it.
Really?
Yeah. I watched it a few years ago with my SCAD friends or whatever when we were doing we had a whole semester basically devoted to Romeo and Juliet. And so we got together one night, and I was like, I've never watched it before, and I was just enthralled. It was this insane 90s, early 2000s vibe, and everyone's screaming.
Same director as Great Gatsby, same director as Moonlight. No, not Moonlight.
No, not Moonlight.
What's that one weird musical one that I've never seen?
Oh.
With Ewan McGregor?
Yes.
Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge.
I've
never seen it.
Moulin Rouge, yes.
I've always wanted to see that.
Well, you should watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like it. Do you like it?
I have very odd feelings about it. I think there is some really good Shakespeare in it, and I think it makes
them meeting at the party.
I think it makes it it makes it very accessible to people.
Yeah.
I don't think that Leonardo DiCaprio as a young man was the greatest Shakespearean actor.
No, but Romeo is a stupid boy, so
he totally fits, and I really want to talk about that later. How I don't think. Anyway, okay.
Will's about to hurt my feelings.
How do we want to start this? Do we want to start off with talking about Bill Shakes, or do we want to give him the theme music?
Let's give him the theme music.
Okay, here's the theme music, and enjoy the theme music.
about my boy Willie Shakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very overwhelming and a little very intimidating to try to give like any, I don't know, impression of what the grandeur that is Shakespeare.
He was a giant of a man.
Yes.
And has left a giant legacy.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to just try to talk about his personal life.
Great.
And just some like fun facts.
I think that's fascinating.
Yeah.
His personal life, because it's fascinating. It's fascinating because it's fascinating.
Oh, that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know.
I love it. Okay, so obviously we know that he's a playwright, poet, and actor, and widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist.
Did Shakespeare actually write all the plays?
Yes, in my opinion, he did.
Very good.
Great. Okay.
Glad we decided that.
We talked about that. And he is also called the Bard of Avon, which I think is funny and weird, and because he's England's national poet. But how did it all begin? He was baptized the 26th of April, 1564, which is very cool because that's today.
That's today. Happy Baptism Day.
Happy Baptism Day. We don't know his official birthday, but people say that it's the 23rd of April, and that kind of fits because he died
on the
April 23rd, 1616. So it was actually on St. George's Day, which is kind of fun. I didn't know St. George had a day, and he does. And it's Shakespeare's birth and death day. They
love St. George in England.
Don't we all? He is the son of John Shakespeare, who's an alderman and a successful glove maker. And Mary Arden was his mother, and she was a daughter of an affluent landowning family.
So the name Shakespeare,
yes.
Where does that, was he a...
I mean, it's his dad's last name.
Right. So he wasn't like a, I don't know, didn't have anything to do with his profession.
Nah.
He wasn't like a maker of maraca spear combinations. We call them Shakespeare's. You know what I mean? Or like a he sold milkshakes and spears. Welcome to Shakespeare's.
I really wish that were the case, but unfortunately his father just made gloves.
He just made gloves. Imagine
But he was good at it.
Imagine that's your profession. I just make gloves. I don't make any other piece of clothing.
Hey, you want some...
Do you want some gloves?
You want some gloves? You want some... We got some winter gloves. We got some lace gloves. We got whatever you want.
Wait a second. Do you have any mittens?
Mittens? Get out of my shop. Great. Okay, so he was born and raised in Stratford. Which is like near Avon, Warwickshire. I don't really know how to say anything, but England.
It's England.
Yeah.
Near London, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Great.
He is the third of 8 children, which is fun because I come from a big family of 7 children. So I felt, and I'm like the second, so there's something there. And then there's something there for you.
Really?
Because he's the eldest surviving son, and you're the eldest son of your family.
I'm actually the eldest surviving son. I killed the eldest son.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
So more in common than we realized.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 18, he married Anne Hathaway, and they got married very quick because it was a shotgun wedding.
No way.
We're in the Midwest. Yeah.
That's so funny.
They gave birth 6 months after the wedding to Susanna. So it was rushed.
He just couldn't keep his hands off of Anne Hathaway, and she was like, I have to go win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for Les Mis, and he was like,
Devil Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada.
Which is my favorite.
I just think it's so funny. Do you think Anne Hathaway, the actress, thought about that when she chose her stage name? Do you think that she did that on purpose? I want to be the same name as Shakespeare's wife.
I'd like to believe like she was in class and they were like, okay, so Shakespeare was married to Anne Hathaway, and she was like, this is my destiny, you know? Like, I have the same name. I have to carry on the acting chops.
I guess, yeah. I kind of assumed maybe Anne Hathaway, actress, chose that name as her stage name.
Okay, I literally have to find out. I need to look it up.
I think you need to look up. What is Anne Hathaway's real name?
What is...
I always assumed that she kind of like, maybe her last name was really Hathaway, and maybe she...
No, it's Anne Jacqueline Hathaway.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool middle name, Jacqueline.
Yeah. AJ.
Ew.
Do you like calling girls by their initials?
No.
That's
I'm
really
literally terrified of like naming our daughter someday like AJ. I just don't like AJ actually.
I think it's kind of fallen out of style where like you call them by their initials. Like I have 0 kids who go by their initials.
I like MJ.
MJ's cool.
Yeah.
MK. I have an MK. Wait. I don't have an MK. Never mind. I knew an MK once.
Nice.
Great. Anyway, keep going.
So they had daughter Susanna 6 months after their wedding. Love.
Great.
And then later they had twins, Hamnet and Judith.
Hamlet and Juliet?
No, Hamnet and Judith.
I know.
Yeah, Hamlet and Juliet.
Very close.
Hamnet died at age 11 for
sad.
unknown reasons. So people think Hamlet is like all of his, kind of manifestations for his son.
Sad.
Sad. But okay, so then we're moving into this period of Shakespeare's life we call the lost years, 1585 to 1592. I actually love that Shakespeare had lost years. Like no one.
We don't know what he was doing.
No, but he's like
probably making gloves.
Honestly, probably.
Yeah.
But this is like the greatest man, one of the greatest men to ever live, probably, And there's this period in his life where he's like finding himself, finding what he wanted to do with his life.
Or maybe he was like, yeah, exactly. Or maybe he was like deeply unhappy and he's like, I'm definitely not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. I'm making gloves.
And he had like 7 years of that.
That's crazy.
And I honestly feel like I can relate,
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
I'm like, in this period of my life right now, I don't know what I'm doing. I actually laid in bed last night. You fell asleep, but I literally said that out loud. It was a powerful moment. You missed it.
Dang it.
It was cinematic in a way. But some people have some theories about these lost years. So some think he was a teacher. Obviously, he's so smart.
Well, yeah, he was very literate.
Like a small boarding school in like the hills, or like not like a grand
right.
School
Sure. Not Oxford.
Yes. Some think he was a horse caretaker. Why? And he would do like perform little ditties by the horses. I don't know. This is a theory.
He was just like performing plays for horses.
Yeah.
He was like, hey guys, what do you think of this? What if we had star-crossed lovers? What if they died at the end?
Oh.
And the horses were like,
Yes.
And he was like, cool, I'll write that.
Great. Others think that he left London for a while to escape prosecution for deer poaching. Strong theory.
If you're hunting on the king's land.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Not good. But, however, we don't really know what this guy was up to during this time.
It's pretty fun.
But we do know he came onto the theater scene in around 1585.
Did he come on strong or weak?
Pretty strong.
Really?
Because Robert Greene, who was like another playwright at the time, attacked him in his Groatsworth of Wit paper, where he expresses that Shakespeare was trying to reach above his station. He's like, you're not as educated as like Marlowe and me. Stop trying to like write your plays all the time and like get in with the gang because you're not one of us. So we know like that was kind of the first time in history we see like Shakespeare's name in something, in like a paper about theater.
I love historical fact finding. And some guy just was like, hey, they talk about William Shakespeare in this. This is the first time William Shakespeare's ever mentioned.
And everyone loses their absolute minds.
Yeah.
So from that point, 1585 to 1592, he began his very successful career in London as an actor, writer, and part-time owner of a playing company called the Chamberlain's Men. Oh, Lord Chamberlain's Men. But after the death of Queen Elizabeth in 1603, the company was awarded a royal patent by the new King James I, and then they were known as the King's Men.
Very good.
I just love this idea of this theater company. And they're all like writing the greatest works in English literature and performing them and like helping each other and just like making it up. And then like the audience is so interactive. That must have been the greatest. I mean, I know hygiene was like really gross at the time, but like other than that, like what I would give to like be in that atmosphere. If I were to choose one time in history, it'd be that. The Players at the Globe.
The Players at the Globe. Interesting.
Yeah. Of just like constantly creating great art and finding it together.
Yeah.
That's like the epitome of that.
Do you think there was any, like, bickering and drama? Of course,
oh my gosh,
bickering.
all the time.
All drama.
There was a bunch of sex. There's a bunch of drama. There's a bunch of, like, it's insane, you know?
And,
I mean, like, I would just be an observer and try to create and be like, guys, let's focus.
Guys, back to the script.
There's no script, lady. We're doing off of one page that Shakespeare wrote this morning. You know?
I know, right? How did they do that?
It's insane.
Some of them couldn't even read.
Right. That is like, it's just like
just
magic.
So crazy to me. That we even, it's even crazy that, like, we even have these works that survive.
I know.
That they've been written down.
And what works did we lose?
I don't know. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Did we lose any? I don't think there's evidence of any lost Shakespeare plays.
No, that's not true.
Really?
Because there is well,
there's the one that he didn't finish.
The Library of Alexandria burned, right? And it had some of it in.
No. That was way before Shakespeare.
Okay, wait. But there was some library that had important works.
Yeah, but those were like ancient Greek plays.
No. But, no, I know. Sorry. Library of Alexandria. That was not the right one.
No.
But
the Globe Theater burned down to the ground.
Yes. You're skipping ahead in my story, William. Okay, so these Kingsmen, they had their own cute little theater company, and then they decided to build their own theater on the south bank of the River Thames, which they named the Globe.
Nice.
Okay? So his association with this theater company actually made him a wealthy man, which is surprising, because theater doesn't usually equivalent wealth. But at the time, it did.
Sure.
And so he bought the second nicest home in Stratford.
Is that what his real estate agent said? Hey, this is the second nicest home in Stratford.
You know what you can afford?
This is the second nicest home. Who has the first nicest home? Christopher Marlowe.
And that's what led to the duel. No, Christopher Marlowe died young. Anyways, but he wrote 39 plays, 154 sonnets, 3 long narrative poems, and a few other verses. Some of uncertain authorship, which we'll get into. But some of his, like, obviously, I'm sure you've all heard of his famous plays. I'm just going to give some shout outs, okay? So we got Midsummer Night's Dream. We have Romeo and Juliet. We have Twelfth Night, Hamlet, Much Ado About Nothing, Taming of the Shrew, As You Like It, The Tempest, Macbeth, Julius Caesar.
Quick, what's your favorite Shakespeare play?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that depends. Like,
favorite tragedy?
Hamlet, I think.
Very good.
I know, it's so cliche.
But
and then, but comedy, As You Like It. And I would kill to be Viola.
Very good.
You had to process that. You were like,
I thought that was 12th Night.
Oh my gosh, it is. What am I saying?
Sorry.
No, you're right. Okay. I would kill to be in 12th Night.
I was like, I've never read it As You Like It, actually.
No,
so I have no idea what it's about.
It's just because I have a favorite quote from As You Like It, and that was right above it. Sorry.
Got it.
Anyways, so those are some of his major plays. His comedies and histories plays are like some of his, they're considered like the best in their genre, right? But the tragedies are considered amongst the finest works of the English language, which I just thought it was an interesting, like, differentiation of how people view it, you know?
Yeah.
Which I totally get.
So there's a difference between, like, oh, this is the best of the genre, and, like, this is the best anyone's ever written, ever.
Right.
Meaning, like, Hamlet, King Lear, Macbeth.
Yeah.
Othello.
Yeah.
Those are the big 4 tragedies.
I would agree. But, you know, so he's, like, making it big time. He's writing a lot of stuff. He's a great actor. So his name becomes, like, a selling point at the Globe as a playwright, as an actor. People are like, oh, it's Shakespeare show? Well, mark me down.
Sign me up.
I'm going to watch all of it.
I'm going to give 2 pence for this. 2 pence.
But, you know, that slowly, over time, like, he retired at age 49. He was a little burnt out, you know?
Well, 49 at that time is probably pretty old.
Yeah. And a little bit after that, I think it was during one of his shows, King John, that the Globe burnt down during the performance.
Ooh, that's dramatic.
Yeah. And then after he retired, 3 years later, he died. And he only wrote his will a month before he died, saying that he was in perfect health when he wrote it.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting? I feel like something happened with his death.
He might have gotten very sick very quickly. I mean, who knows back then?
Yeah, Richard Green, or whatever the guy's name is, Green, he did write that, I don't know, Shakespeare drank a lot with his friends, and so they think it was like something with that.
Really?
Or whatever. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But
drank to death.
But he was survived by his wife and 2 daughters because his son Hamnet unfortunately died.
Yes.
And he left most of his stuff to Susanna, saying that she has to give all of Shakespeare's estate to her first son. Unfortunately, she had 3 girls, and they all died without marrying. So,
come on, Shakespeare. Why weren't you marrying off your daughters? Jeez.
And then the other daughter had 1 girl, but then that daughter died without children, therefore ending Shakespeare's direct line.
Oh, so we have no direct descendants of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just thought it was interesting.
That's why all of our stories suck lately.
Amen. I think they're getting better.
I'm kidding.
You like to hate on.
I am totally kidding. Of course, there's been good writers since then.
The only thing that he left his wife Anne was his second best bed, which that's what it says in the will.
Sorry, what?
So.
Oh, his second best bed.
His second best bed.
That's what he left to his wife.
Yes. Some view it as an insult because she was left like nothing, and then he's like, "You left my second best bed." But I guess at the time,
my best bed was with another woman.
But I guess at the time it was known as the marital bed, and so it has like great significance.
Sure.
In that, if he was being nice, who knows?
Of course, they all just like slept on straw.
I know.
So like,
this was in Bethlehem.
Yeah. Were their beds really that good?
I don't know. His grave was
goose feathers.
You want to hear what his grave says?
It says, "Here lies a poet, and he didn't even know it."
Will has left the group chat.
Oh, bye.
His grave says, "Good friend, for Jesus' sake forbear to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man that spares these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones."
Cursed be he that moves my bones.
Do
you think he wrote that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Shakespeare's just narcissistic enough, I feel.
He would be like, "Put this on my gravestone."
Yeah.
I'll carve it myself if I have to.
I mean, words meant so much to him, you know?
That's true.
Of course.
If he did write all those plays. I'm just kidding.
Get out of here. Of course, he has like many statues and monuments that were dedicated to him around the world still today, including the funeral monuments at Southwark Cathedral and Poets' Corner in Westminster Abbey. His plays have been translated into every major living language in the world. Wow. That's incredible. And they're performed more often than those of any other playwright and continue to be studied, reinterpreted, reimagined over and over and over again, which is great.
It's just insane, the impact that he's had.
I know. It's wild. And many of Shakespeare's plays were published in editions of varying quality and accuracy in his lifetime. This is what's coming. Yes, this is the big question. Did he write all of them? Because there's so many great works. How can this poor boy rise from the ranks and write such great drama? However...
Sorry, go ahead.
In 1623, 2 fellow actors and friends of Shakespeare's, John Hemmings and Henry Condell, they published a more definitive text known as the First Folio, a posthumous... Is that how you say that?
Yeah, posthumous.
Posthumous, collected edition of Shakespeare's dramatic works that included all but 2 of his plays. The volume was prefaced with a poem by Ben Jonson, in which Jonson succinctly hailed Shakespeare in a now famous quote as, "Not of an age, but for all time." So his friends, gathered all his plays and made sure that they were, established in his name.
This is the same guy.
Because they knew how important it was.
Yeah.
They knew how great it was. So.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That is cool. I think maybe one powerful argument for the fact that maybe he didn't write maybe he wrote most of them, but maybe there were some that were thrown in that it was written by somebody else. Is that
maybe Midsummer?
We have. I love Midsummer.
Sure.
I mean, it needs to be cut down, but anyway, is that we've never seen anyone like this again. You know what I mean? Like in any language, there's no comparison.
But think about how much time he had on his hands back in the day.
Yeah, he was. I mean, sure. But even I mean, we've had other great playwrights, but none of them have risen to have the amount of masterpieces that this man has. And 500 years later, 600?
I don't know.
500.
I'm not good at math.
We're still performing his plays, and we're still that's just insane. Like do you think
why is that so crazy?
Well, think about this. In 500 more years, in 2600 AD, are we going to be performing what? Are we going to be performing Tennessee Williams in 2600 AD?
Listen.
I'm just saying.
No. I'm just saying times feel dramatic right now, obviously, with everything going on. But just think of his time. There's kingdoms. There's great dynasties.
No,
there's,
I'm saying that as a compliment to
whatever.
William Shakespeare. That he is timeless. I thought you were doing the
argument.
No. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying it's like, oh, yeah. I guess my argument is what he did was impossible because nobody else has done it. But that in itself is
a stupid rule.
It's a stupid argument.
Yeah.
That's
like Jesus is not real because,
right.
Well,
sure.
No one's existed like it.
Yeah, so it's just crazy to think about. I'm just like, are we going to be still in 500 years? Are we still going to be reading Harry Potter? No.
We might.
But we might still be reading Shakespeare.
We definitely will be.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that wild? Or even 200 years.
I feel like it's just, he has such universal messages in all of his plays. I mean, not all of them are exactly winners.
No.
He probably has 7 great ones.
We give more credit to the mediocre ones because they're Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. Midsummer Night's Dream is not crazy good.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But there are it goes on too long. It's just what's going on?
Where are we? And then the end, it just comes out of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, it's wild.
So I think he did write all his plays. And I do think it's a collaboration of the King's Men. They were all working together.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think it is Shakespeare's words.
Great.
Now my favorite, one of my favorite lines that I just love because I'm an actor and it's comparing the world to a stage. And maybe it's because my parents always told me to act.
All the world's a stage.
Exactly. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They are their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts.
That's Hamlet, isn't it?
No, that's As You Like It.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Seems so existential.
I know. I love it. Anyways.
There's some existential dread in Shakespeare. Holy cow. The man was depressed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But he also had so much love insightful. And hope and faith in humanity, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But let's jump into the play we're talking about today.
Great.
Romeo and Juliet.
Specifically, you want to go into this production of Romeo?
Well, I do. But first of all, I want to tell the audience, I know you probably follow us on Instagram, so you probably saw we have a Romeo amongst us.
Oh, boy.
Our own William Wright.
That's
played
me.
Romeo in undergrad and college.
Back in 2012.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's almost 10 years ago.
Almost 10 years ago. So this wasn't yesterday, folks. Whoa. Nearly a decade since I graced the stage as Romeo.
I just remember when we first started dating, I was like, oh my gosh, he was Romeo. And then we talked about it once, and I was like, was that not amazing? And you were just like, it was so hard to memorize the lines. I was just in the library every day after school.
I nearly killed myself trying to get that
Romeo
role.
Doesn't even have that many lines.
Look, I was also a full-time undergrad student.
Okay. The term full-time for a student is always funny to me. You're a student. Yeah, you got a lot going on.
I had a lot going on, man.
Yeah, that's fair. It was your first Shakespeare show.
Second.
Oh, what was your first?
Love's Labor's Lost as a senior in high school.
Yes, who could forget? We have a great t-shirt.
We do. I still have that t-shirt.
It's nice. It's navy.
Love's Labor's Lost is a stupid play, but wow. Yeah.
So anyway, give us some insight on, I know this is almost 10 years ago. It was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
But just like some quick, just words of your time as Romeo.
Sure.
What did you learn? What did you lose? What did you find in yourself, in your Juliet?
Yeah. Okay. Look, I always wonder if what I performed and what I gave on stage was any good. I would kill to find a recording of that show and see what it was like. I don't know
one exists.
I don't know if I was any good at all. I felt very bad. Like I didn't feel like I did a good job at all. Like and
why
I was
do you
not
feel like
confident in myself because I just like a lot of times I didn't know what I was saying. But then at the same time, there were moments where I discovered I was like, oh no, yes, I'm definitely like, I'm acting here. Like this is what it's all about. Like this is great. I got some of my most complimentary, like best compliments from my director as Romeo, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was directed by Corbin Hernandez, right?
Shout out
Corbin. And I was doing the apothecary scene where Romeo confronts the apothecary when he's trying to get the poison.
Yes.
Right? And I did the scene, and Corbin comes up to me. He's like, whoa, you really grabbed that by the balls. Like, that was sick. And I was like, I always remember that. It was like very inappropriate. I don't know. But it was a weird comment to say, but I was like, nice. I really got that one. You know?
Nice.
It was the hardest role at the time that I'd ever done, and it was a ton of fun. But it was at the same time, it was like you put the whole show on you and your chemistry between Juliet. I don't feel like I had any chemistry between me and Juliet.
Your strong
Zero
chemistry.
Elizabeth. Ooh, I don't even remember her last name.
She worked at a radio.
She was a senior. I was a sophomore.
Will and I one time drove by this radio show.
I was proud of myself for getting this role, though, because I do feel like I earned it. Because I went into callbacks, and the director was like, okay, Will, show me what you got. So I went into callbacks, and I don't think I had the role, but I walked out of callbacks, and I had it.
It is a great feeling when you feel like you nailed a callback, and you're like, I have to get this. Or you, like, prepared, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, I worked for this part.
Yep.
I want it so bad. No, I was just going to say a quick little fun story of Psycho Sarah.
Okay, great.
From prepubescent year. No, not prepubescent. I was fully formed.
Very post-pubescent.
Very post-pubescent. It just feels like in my lifetime of who I am now, it feels kind of like immature.
Yeah.
It was when we were first dating, and Will was like driving in the car, and we drove past this like radio show, and he was like, hey, my Juliet works there. And I was like, oh, you're Juliet. Oh, okay. In my head, I turned like from Fargo.
Crazy.
And I was like, all right. Nope, that was a bad accent.
And really all I was saying, I was like, hey, look at that building. I know someone who works there.
And I'm such a nightmare.
You were like, what?
It's Juliet. He's going to date her, marry her, have her children.
No, she was cool.
Yeah.
No,
I'm glad she was cool.
Again, the chemistry, almost non-existent. I was always very self-conscious because I thought Jacob Donaldson was a better actor than me, and he played Friar Lawrence. And I was like, Jacob should have just been Romeo. He's a better Shakespearean actor.
Can't think about that.
I know, but that's all I could think of, man.
Well, I will speak to a little bit I've never been in a Shakespeare production. The crowd goes wild. In a bad way. No, but I studied Shakespeare in grad school for like a year, and we actually focused on Romeo and Juliet for like 2 months, just the balcony scene.
That's insane. That's so much.
But what I love about Shakespeare is how much homework has to be put into it, And so once you are done with all of that, you have such ownership over the language, and it feels like a part of you, and it's like fresh with each individual. I don't know. That's so what I cool.
It is cool. That's what I definitely don't have, and that's what you definitely don't have the luxury of doing when you're in a performance of a production.
I mean, like, but we were learning how to do it.
Right,
as we
but
were
you can't spend 2 months on one scene.
No, I was in school, so obviously it can't. I'm just saying, once I understand now what it takes to, like, dissect a text.
Sure.
And so, like, I'll be excited for whenever I am in a Shakespeare production, because it is so fun as an actor and so freeing, because the rhythm of the words is so, I don't know, like, immaculate and different than, like, anything that we have in the U.S.
And that's what I definitely did not capture. Like,
it's so hard if you have no idea.
It's so hard. It's so hard. And if you want to do you want to move on to the production at PBS?
Oh, yes.
So that's what those actors did so well. They have such mastery of the language that you watch them and you're like, yeah, I understand everything you're saying. Because you just know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
I'm getting a gist.
And
I'm just kidding. No, I got
I'm getting like almost all of it, honestly. And it depended on the actor. Like, Josh O'Connor was incredible, like, so good at just, like, making this crazy language just fit with
everything.
With everything. It was crazy, and I just love watching that.
Yeah,
I love watching it.
It's
and very
good. Shakespeare actors are, like,
very few actors can
my
do
bread
it.
and butter.
Like, you could give me like Leonardo DiCaprio, by all accounts, is a really good actor.
Yeah,
but you put him in front of Shakespeare, and I'm like, you're all right.
Yeah.
Like, but you put Josh O'Connor, give me like a Patrick Stewart, give me an Ian McKellen.
Oh my gosh. Well, we saw Ian McKellen as King Lear in the National Theater, and it was just on screen, still. And they still, like, that mastery of it, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And you're taken on such, like, a more intricate journey as an audience member.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes Shakespeare so cool.
Yeah. And as an actor, I'm just like, oh, that's how you're supposed to say it. Because they just, like, get it. And they make it look so easy. It's not. They are studying.
And that's what makes them so good. Because they make it look easy. That's their job.
But it was, that production was a joy to watch. Because I was just like,
and it's cinematically
so
beautiful.
Yeah.
And it really portrays, I don't know, the visuals of it portray the language so well.
Yeah.
But what was your beef with Josh O'Connor? You think he shouldn't have been cast?
He's too old. I think Romeo.
Yes, he should be a child. Well, Juliet was too old.
That's what I was about to get to. Is that the play makes way less sense with two adults as Romeo and Juliet. When you put two kids in there, they're 16, 17, 18, whatever, then it's like, yeah, I get why they're doing what they're doing. Yeah. Because the actions that they go through are idiotic. Like, it's crazy. And even what the advice that Friar Lawrence gives them, I'm just like, you're such an idiot. Like, why are you doing this?
Friar Lawrence is an idiot.
Who is to blame? Yes. Who is to blame in this? Is it Romeo? Is it Juliet? Is it Friar Lawrence? Is it Nurse?
Here's my thing.
Okay.
I think I'm team Friar Lawrence.
Really? Like the one to. Oh, okay. I see.
Up until. So, like, he gives this advice of, like, true love. Like, I believe these kids honestly love each other. It's, like, this intense, crazy, takes over their whole being. I feel like they'd make it work. They're both passionate enough. Yeah. They'll make it work. You know? Who knows?
And he sees the good in it. He's like, well, you unite these houses.
Yes, great. Okay, so I'm like, great, Friar.
I'm on board.
Okay? People got married really young back in the day, too. Amazing.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm just like, Shakespeare, what is when Friar is like, he doesn't tell Romeo. He takes so long. He like, I'll tell him as soon as the next day or whatever. And Juliet's like, great, I'm faking my death and putting my life in your hands kind of thing. And then he's like, oh, I forgot to tell Romeo. It's just
Wait,
does
he say that?
No, but it kind of like feels like that. Because he's like rushing, because he's like, oh no, all of the Capulets are mourning her death. That's right, I have to go,
I know. It's a flawed plan.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
you couldn't get word to him.
You couldn't let You couldn't let Benvolio know?
Yeah.
He is still alive. He got out to freaking whatever it's called, Mantua.
Really easily.
Yeah. You just tell Benvolio.
He'll go.
Bring him to the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay? You had all three of you had Juliet.
So I blame him.
He should have had a better plan of getting there. And at first I was like at points I was like, he shouldn't have even given Juliet that that sleeping potion or whatever. But she was saying like, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she kind of traps him into a corner.
Put him in a corner. Yeah.
She's like, if I marry Paris, I'm gonna kill myself. And he was like, well, we can't have that.
Yeah.
So
what I took away from this show also, I just want to say before I forget, is so I have read Romeo and Juliet multiple times.
Okay.
I have never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you saw.
Well, so I saw Romeo plus Juliet, but like that's like half Shakespeare, half like.
It's the entire text, though. I mean, they cut parts of it, but they don't add anything. They
cut a lot.
Well, sure,
they
but
really
so did this PBS thing.
Well, I felt like this was the first time. Okay, as far as like true.
Okay.
Why are you yelling at me, man? This is my Romeo and Juliet experience.
Sorry.
So this one I felt of just like more traditional sense of what it should be like. Romeo plus Juliet feels like an insane 90s, 2000s, crazy, whacked out kind of version. You know?
This is more pure.
Yes, this is like more pure. We're in Italy. We're doing it. And I finally understood like kind of the tragedy of it all. You know? Like it was the first time where I really like felt for Romeo and Juliet and how like in love they were and how evil kind of the hatred was like around them. I don't know, rather than being like, oh, it's just Romeo and Juliet, whatever, it's dumb. I hate myself for loving it. I was like, no, I love myself for loving this play. Because darn it, it's a great play. It's so sad. And it has such like a great message of like finding like the love amongst the hate.
Right.
You know?
I think and that's portrayed so beautifully when after Romeo and Juliet have been married, Tybalt is trying to pick a fight with Romeo, and Romeo's like, man, I'm not going to fight you. You don't know why I'm not going to fight you, but I'm not going to fight you because I actually love you. But you don't know why I love you either. Mm-hmm. You know? And so it's just, I love that. Especially that part definitely stood out to me.
Yeah.
And, like even at the very beginning of the play, Romeo is kind of, you never see him be aggressive towards the Capulets.
No, he's just sad boy.
He's just sad boy. He's in love with Rosalind.
Yeah.
And he's just like, whatever, man. And Tybalt is certainly an aggressor.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they just captured, even if they are like older or whatever, they just captured like the story of Romeo and Juliet and took it so seriously. Where I feel like that's hard. You know, people hear Romeo and Juliet and they're just like, you know, it's just overdone. It's done so much, or it's just like talked about so much. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense.
It's cliche.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you still can't get something from it.
Right.
I got something new from this show, from this production that we watched.
What did you get that was new?
The way they intercut the stuff that's happening as you're seeing it with the eventual deaths.
Yeah.
Is fascinating. They just have like each character, Romeo and Juliet, have little baby flash forwards to
what's going to happen.
And so you get this sense of like they almost know what's going to happen. They almost can sense it, but they want to be with each other anyway.
So bad. Like their love knows no bounds.
They can sense like maybe this isn't the best idea.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting these weird flash forwards where I'm dead.
Right.
And you're dead.
And it's even like in the text of like Romeo's dream of like, I dreamed that Juliet found me dead.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like all this stuff.
And oh my gosh, her speech, Juliet's speech, where she's contemplating whether she should drink the sleeping potion or not, where she's just like, maybe I'll never wake up. What if I drink this and I never wake up? What if I'm just dead?
Mm-hmm.
What if Friar Lawrence is tricking me? And then what if I wake up and I'm just like lying? I'm trapped in my casket.
That literally is my worst nightmare.
I was like, holy cow! I had never picked that up before.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so good. I think they did a great job of cutting. They did cut a lot. I mean, it's a 2-hour play, 2-hour 15-minute play. Yeah. They cut it down to an hour 34-ish.
I honestly, if I were directing it or in it, I would want to do how they're cut.
Yeah, because they cut out a lot of the comedy. There is a giant. Well, they cut out. I mean, one of the most significant parts, they cut out a bunch of Romeo's monologue from the balcony scene, which was, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But at the very beginning, they cut out that whole I bite my thumb at you, sir. Do you bite your thumb? As I bite my thumb, do you bite a thumb at me, sir? You know, that's all gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought the forward momentum of it was really good. Mm-hmm. Because I noticed it, but that's only because I was in it and I know the play.
Because you were Romeo.
It was 10 years ago, okay?
Will just got really embarrassed.
Gosh, man, I want another crack at that.
You're too old now, to your theory. No,
I am.
Just kidding. No.
You and me could play
a...
play a pretty baller Romeo and Juliet.
Pretty baller, man.
Yeah, man.
No, I don't know, because when we were working on the balcony scene for so long, and the language... I think
that's still crazy that you worked on it for 2 months.
I know.
That's insane.
Yeah. But I loved it. I loved playing Juliet because, I don't know, my teacher, Vivian Machikowski, said, she was like, Juliet is one of the most, complex female roles in Shakespeare's, I don't know, his breadth of work. So... And she is. She's a very smart 16-year-old girl. I mean, even what you're just saying, just, she goes through every scenario, in her head. Yeah. She's more with it than Romeo is. And so...
Romeo's, not in the last 2/3 of the play. Yeah. Or 1/3 of the play.
It's, Juliet's journey.
Yeah.
And so... And I loved that. And you can hear it, in her text. But what I feel like I was missing and what I saw... in this show when I was working on it is that the grandness of the language, I was like, oh, it's just because it's Shakespeare. But it's no, these two kids honestly believe my bounty is as boundless as the sea and my love is deep, right. and it is their love. They think their love for each other is like that because they are willing to risk everything. Right. And I don't know, I feel like you just saw everything they were risking in this. And I loved that. And I feel like I can't wait for a future text I can really think about all of that the character has to go through because Shakespeare does such a good job of the way that they speak is from their position in the world. Right. I don't know. I love Shakespeare.
Going into it, I was like, I've seen been there, done that. But this production, made me see it in a new light, and that is something special. Yeah. And it's just beautifully shot.
Oh my god.
The way that because they were National Theater was going to do this production anyway, and then of course COVID, and so they had to cancel it. But they were like, wait a second, let's figure out a way to do this. So they filmed it, but it's very much, it still feels like a play somehow.
Yeah, well, because I think it's their artistic vision with it. So. And we kind of watched a few videos afterwards. So what they said is that they shot the first couple of scenes like it was in a rehearsal setting, right? So we're seeing these actors kind of going through. The stage is half set, it's filled with costumes that they're still pulling. Everything is kind of bare bones as far as a set goes. Yeah. But as the character is going on this journey with the forward momentum and how chaotic Romeo and Juliet are feeling, that's when it becomes more cinematic, but also just grand, and the sets become realized, and the sounds and the lights and everything comes together. And then by the end, when it's being torn apart, you're back into the rehearsal room.
Yeah, it's wild.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it was just so good because I love when someone just takes an artistic path and they're good at it, I love that in a show. Crazy. And I think that's what it made it feel like
Crazy.
a play.
A unified vision. Interesting.
Yeah. And also it was a lot of like one take, very close up.
Very long takes. Yeah. Very.
So you felt very like intimate and in the moment with the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely recommend it.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Do you have any final thoughts before we move into our quizzes?
I don't think so.
I had one final thought.
One thing that I'm gonna bring up with my casting, but
I love it. No, I just had one more thing. I had never seen Juliet's mom. Like, so Will and I were kind of talking about this earlier, where usually it's like Juliet's dad being really mean, and being like, you can't marry Romeo, and like, you're dead to me if you do, you know? And in this production, they had Juliet's mom. And I was like... Well, Juliet's mom is always there, but she's usually the nice one. But roles were reversed.
I'm saying they never know that she married Romeo.
Well, okay.
Sorry. I thought that was something that I actually noticed this production. I was like, they never even find out that they got married.
Yeah.
They never even find out.
Yeah. Well, sorry. It was more about Paris. That they were like, you have to marry Paris. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
You have to marry Paris. And so in this production, it was Juliet's mom being really mean. And it almost felt meaner coming from a woman. Because you would think she would have more of an understanding of like Juliet's feelings and trying to be there. But you felt the separation. You felt more of a reason for the nurse. You could feel the nurse took care of Juliet her whole life and her mother didn't, you know? And I think that made that more clear. And yeah, because always the nurse, I was like, why is she even here? Is she just a friend? What's happening?
I know, right?
And so I don't know. I thought that performance and that take on it, and I know it's kind of a normal take, Will says that a lot of productions do that, but I absolutely was obsessed with it. And I think that's also something really cool about Shakespeare is that it can be any race, any sex, anything, and it can make even a stronger choice for that character and mean even more because of it, you know?
Right.
So I loved that.
Great.
Anyways.
That was cool.
Yeah. Let's move on to your quiz.
Okay.
Great.
This is a quiz that I made up.
Okay.
And it's coming off the top of my head.
Oh.
But I have a theme for the quiz. The theme is...
It's always good when you have a theme.
The theme is this inspired by Romeo and Juliet? Here we go.
Fun. Question
number 1. And it's really your opinion.
Okay.
Is West Side Story inspired by Romeo and Juliet?
1000%. That's why I love West Side Story.
Great. Yeah.
Great. It's one of my favorite musicals of all time.
Is High School Musical inspired by Romeo and Juliet?
Interesting. I've never thought about it, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay, great.
You know, it's two big groups trying to tear the two lovers apart, of course.
Star-crossed lovers.
Star-crossed lovers, the theater nerds and the basketball players and the scientists.
You throw that third group in there, who knows what's going to happen.
That's a DCOM extra.
That's right. Okay. Is WALL-E inspired by Shakespeare?
I'm going to be honest. I don't really remember WALL-E, and I know
we got some star-crossed lovers.
Okay.
We got some star-crossed lovers where the minimalist robot Eve and WALL-E, who's like, you know,
feeling.
He
feels
dopey.
A lot. Yeah.
He feels a lot. Yeah.
Are there groups tearing him apart? They
They
wouldn't be necessarily star-crossed lovers just because they're lovers.
But they're misfits.
That doesn't count.
Okay, great.
Romeo and Juliet are hot. They're not
Wally's
misfits.
not. Well, they're whatever. Yeah, they shouldn't. You wouldn't necessarily pair them together.
That's fair.
How about that?
Yeah. No to WALL-E.
No to WALL-E. WALL-E's not inspired by Romeo and Juliet.
You have 2 more options.
Okay. How about? I'm gonna think of another one. How about?
What is that?
Aladdin. Star-crossed lovers.
No, because no one's pulling Aladdin.
Okay. Who's
tearing him away? No one, you know? He has all his friends helping him out.
The streets.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Can I think of another one?
Okay, we're going to move on to my quiz.
Great. That was my whole quiz.
Perfect.
It's just to see, like, the reach of Shakespeare.
I love it. So my quiz is it William Shakespeare or Taylor Swift?
Oh, shoot.
Which is like the game. We
gosh.
watched
this
the
was
cast
on TikTok.
do a little bit. No, it was on Instagram.
Okay, great.
But the National Theater group did it with each other, and it was really fun and cute. And we were really bad at it, so I'm excited to see how this goes.
See.
Okay. Men's eyes were made to look and let them gaze.
Shakespeare.
Nice. Do you know what show?
No.
Romeo and Juliet.
Wow. Shoot. Okay. They cut that line from this one.
This is the last time I'm asking you why you break my heart in the blink of an eye.
That's T Swift.
Good job.
Nice.
All right. Do not deny to him that Do not deny to him that you love me.
Shakespeare.
Yeah. You know what show?
Do not deny to him that you love me.
Yeah.
Othello.
No.
Dang
Romeo and Juliet.
Dang it.
Paris says it. I will confess to you that I love him.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yes.
What show?
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who says it?
Juliet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
Woo.
All love ever does is break and burn and end.
That's Taylor Swift.
Nice.
I can't name the song though. Wait, all of is break and burn and end, and what is fearless? No, different song.
Let's begin again.
Okay, great.
On a Wednesday,
was it the same
in a
album?
Cafe, I watched it begin again. Not even a little bit.
Not
this
even
is
the same
from
album.
Red. So
Dang.
yeah, it's rough. Okay. The lights are so bright, but they never blind me.
T Swift.
Nice. He just at scars that never felt a wound.
Shakespeare.
Yeah. Love's a fragile little flame. It could burn out.
T Swift.
Yeah. You're like doing really well.
These seem
a little easier.
They seem a little easier.
I mean, this is just from a free PDF online. So.
The ones they were doing in that video were super hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those are National Theater actors at the Globe, so
sure.
They probably had to make them a little hard.
Sure.
You and I are past our dancing days.
T Swift.
No. It's Shakespeare, baby.
Get out.
Lord Capulet.
You and I are past our dancing days.
Don't you see the starlight? Don't you dream impossible things?
That's T Swift.
Yeah. I would I were thy bird.
Shakespeare.
Who says it?
I would I were thy bird?
Yeah.
Romeo?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
He says it in the balcony scene.
Man. It was crazy, like, watching it. I was like, I don't remember any of this.
A single word.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, good job. You did really well.
Thank you.
I'm going to pause that game because you're too good at it. It's, like, not even fun.
No worries. No worries.
You did miss one. But I probably would have missed more, so.
No worries.
That's fine.
But you know T Swift so well. Didn't you remember all this T Swift lyrics?
Yeah, I think I would give T Swift more credit than she deserves, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, as soon as they're using, like, a thine and thou, I'm like, well, T Swift doesn't say that.
We'll see.
Maybe she'll do a Shakespeare album.
I hope so.
Hey, here. I'll give you one. Here we go. I've got one. Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting. All you have to do is phone. You'll be the prince. I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes. Is that Romeo? I mean, is that Shakespeare or T Swift?
Oh, let me think. Well, technically, it is Taylor, but you didn't even get all the lyrics right. So.
Dang it.
Yeah. Phone.
Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting. All you have to do is phone.
Run.
Dang it.
I have to tell you guys the funniest story.
No.
Will woke up in the middle of the night the other night, and he had a fake, like, his hand was in a shape of a phone next to his ear, and he went, "Hello?" He wasn't holding his real phone. This was his hand. And I was like,
and then you,
are you okay?
And you woke up.
Yeah, I woke up to it. It was like 3 a.m. and I was like, Will, are you okay? And he was just like, what?
Hello?
Hello?
Who's this? This is Will. Who's this?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Yeah, I thought about that during mass, and I laughed to myself.
I know, you were so giggly the other day.
It's so funny. I don't know. I just don't normally do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
I love it. Well, great. Do you have any final thoughts on Romeo and Juliet? I feel like we just kind of gushed over the National Theater production. But you know what? I'm into it.
I'm into it as well. I've got one final thought, and it's going to lead directly into casting.
Amazing.
Okay. So we're going to cast the freaking play here.
Cast the freaking play.
Cast the freaking play.
Okay. So my casting, partly, I cast a pretty young Romeo and Juliet. And then I also, there's a theory where Juliet is actually, she's kind of in love with Romeo, but she actually hates Paris more than she loves Romeo. And so she sees Romeo as an escape from marrying Paris. Right? Because I guess in this production, Juliet's mom, right before the big party,
right,
she says, "Hey, take a look at Paris.
Yeah,
you're probably gonna marry him someday." And so, and she obviously then falls in love with Romeo.
Right.
But is that because she just hates Paris? So my Paris is Zach Galifianakis.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's my Paris.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I always love that theory. I'm like, because it's like it makes Juliet like more, I think, more of a human, and Romeo's just like a dumb like puppy dog.
Yeah.
And Juliet's like, just get me out of this. I don't want to marry that guy.
Right.
Zach
and he's like hot. And
yeah, exactly.
He's
like, hot.
He's into her. Zach Galifianakis is not interesting.
Yeah.
I did Keegan-Michael Key.
That's a funny Paris.
Yeah.
I think Paris should be a little dopey.
Yeah. I thought so. And
I think Paris in this production was like too hot.
Oh, I thought he was like too sad boy.
Interesting.
I was like, I think Paris should just be like a nice guy.
Yeah, Yeah. And he gets like killed at the end.
And
Romeo
like,
kills
sad.
him. And you're like, he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
In the production that we did, it was so funny. Because we played Paris as like the nicest dude ever.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the entire play, he's like holding these daffodils. And he's trying to give them to Juliet like the entire play.
Mm.
And then he brings them and he like puts them on her grave. And then Romeo kills him.
That's
it's so sad. It's so sad.
The greatest tragedy is not RNJ. It is Paris.
It's Ed Schmaltz played Paris, and he was like, "This is funny. He's the funniest guy. He was so funny."
That's so.
Yeah, it was wild.
I love that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, do we want to kind of? Should we have a winner right now of Paris?
Sure. I don't care.
I feel like Zach Galifianakis is like a little wild. I don't know.
Yeah, we could play the Keegan-Michael Key as like the whatever, the goofy dopey Paris.
Yeah. Okay, next let's do the nurse.
Okay, great.
I chose Debbie Allen.
Who is that?
So she's on Grey's Anatomy, but she has also like been around forever.
Okay.
You'll recognize her right away.
Great.
You might have seen her on a few Disney Channel shows.
Huh. I don't recognize her.
Oh my gosh.
But that's okay.
Seriously?
Seriously.
She's in Fame. She's
never seen Fame.
Okay, weird. Who did you choose?
As the nurse?
Yes.
Okay, so I wrote this down. Oh, I chose the actress who plays Molly Weasley in the Harry Potter things, and I don't remember her name.
I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
I do like her a lot. Let's go with her.
Yay!
Amazing. Okay.
Gotta give some British people this because like they're like it's their
I know,
language,
they're
it's their
incredible.
language.
Juliet's mom.
Juliet's mom.
I chose Kerry Washington.
Ooh, I chose Viola Davis. Ooh.
I kind of want to go with Kerry Washington.
Kerry Washington would be great. Viola Davis, I think, fits it better. She's more threatening. She's more domineering.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay, let's go with Viola.
Okay.
Friar Lawrence.
Sorry.
I'm going to win.
Really? Okay, so I went with the route of like Friar Lawrence is actually stupid and he's younger.
Oh, interesting.
He's young. He's a young man and he's inexperienced.
Is he the guy from The Boys?
No.
Just kidding. Continue.
Andrew Rannells.
What? Okay, I'm definitely
guy from I don't know what he's from. He's from a lot of stuff, but he was the lead in Book of Mormon. Anyway, Andrew Rannells. Okay. From Omaha, Nebraska.
Taika Waititi.
Oh, I want to go with Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
For sure. That would be so funny.
I know.
I love Taika Waititi.
He's incredible.
Yeah. That's good.
Thank you.
That's really good. And then you kind of get that sense that you're like, this guy's kind of crazy.
Yeah. But I trust him.
Like, I definitely understand, like, this man is a
I would
priest.
let him hold my
This
children.
man is a priest of the church.
Yeah.
But he's also, for some reason, he has this crazy sleeping potion.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he's Taika Waititi.
And poison. It was interesting that they got the poison from Friar Lawrence in that production.
Did he?
Yeah, it was on Friar Lawrence's like desk.
Did Romeo steal it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know.
That's not how it goes in the original play.
Mercutio. Donald Glover.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
Dang. I don't remember who I picked.
So we're going to go Donald Glover.
Sure.
Tybalt.
Here we go. Wyatt Russell, who plays Johnny Walker, the new Captain America and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's Tybalt.
I did Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, I almost picked him as Mercutio, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's tough.
What do you think? Romeo, what do you think?
I mean, I want to go with Wyatt Russell because I think he played that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think he played that, like, off-kilter. I think Tybalt's a little crazy.
Off-kilter. Well, I feel like Daniel could play a little crazy.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But, like...
But we could do the crazy white boy.
Wyatt Russell's, like...
Let's do the crazy
white boy.
He's,
like, violent.
Yeah.
You know? Right. Daniel Kaluuya is, like...
Well, we just saw him in Judas and the Black Messiah, where he plays a very nice guy, so I feel like it's not fair.
Yeah.
But let's go with crazy white boy.
Crazy white boy.
Great.
Violent.
Okay, let's do Romeo next.
Okay. So I went very young. Okay. Or at least Reed's very young. He's about 20.
I did like young 30s, so.
Okay. So I got to cast my Juliet and Romeo together.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
I'll go first because Will forgot to write things down.
I did. No, I just forgot the piece of paper at school. I wrote it down at school.
So I chose for Juliet.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay.
Letitia Wright.
Letitia
Wright. Oh, yeah. Yikes. Letitia Wright.
Okay,
from Black Panther. She plays his Black Panther's younger sister. Shuri.
She's a good choice.
Thank you.
She reads very young.
Yeah.
How old is she?
25, 26.
Okay. She reads younger than that.
And then I chose Michael B. Jordan as Romeo.
No.
What? He's hot.
I mean, he's hot for sure.
Who'd you choose?
Too old.
Who'd you choose?
All right. My Romeo is Caleb McLaughlin, who's Lucas from Stranger Things. He's about 20. He reads very young.
Lucas from Stranger Things?
Yeah. And then my Juliet is... I don't even know who she is. What?
This guy reads so young.
Yeah.
Will, I feel like we can't. I know it says like they're 16.
I mean, he's actually 20. He just looks young.
He literally looks like 12.
Well, what season of are you looking at a picture of him now, or are you looking from season 1 of Stranger Things?
Well,
Obviously,
I'm gonna look at a picture of him now. Okay, I'd buy a little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
Well, why don't we pair him and Letitia together? Who's your Juliet?
She's random girl number 1. No, her name is Amy Beth McNulty. She's from Anne with an E, which is I don't know.
Okay, so we're gonna go with
Letitia and Caleb.
And Caleb.
Yeah, definitely not Michael B. Jordan. He's too old.
No,
he would be a great Tybalt. So anyway.
Well, I still think he's like too charming and nice to be Tybalt.
Are you serious? I mean, he can be charming and nice, but he's like.
I haven't seen him
in Black Panther. He's like the villain.
Well, yeah, but he's still like hot villain. I don't know.
Tybalt can be a hot villain,
I guess. Anyways,
Tybalt like ruins everything, you know.
Yeah. No, I know.
Because he just randomly picks a fight with Romeo.
No, with Mercutio, and then
with Romeo first, and then Mercutio steps in and is like, "Hey, back off."
He was talking to Mercutio first, and then Romeo came in.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're very right.
Thank you. But I feel like that was pretty half and half.
Pretty solid.
Good job.
Good casting.
Sweet. We cast the frickin' play.
Cast the frickin' play.
I feel good about it. Okay. Our questions. So
what
it's been
reading?
a little bit.
What are you watching first?
What am I watching? What am I reading? What am I doing with my life? Great questions. So
yeah.
I'm watching The Boys with Will.
That's what I was gonna say. So good though.
Yeah. It's about superheroes, but it's like they're anti-heroes because they're all like psychotic and evil, and then it's like Jack Quaid and his crazy guys he's paired with, and he's trying to take the superheroes down. It's pretty interesting.
It is. It's bonkers.
It's really crazy. It's
like,
on Amazon
You talk
Prime.
about bold writing choices.
This is a bold writing choice show.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that was like a cheesy way to explain it, but really it's like pretty BA, you know?
Yeah. It's really good. It's even better than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Also, as far as reality television, The Circle just made its way back on Netflix, so I put on that while I was working out today.
Nice.
And I don't know. We haven't had that much time to watch TV.
Well, we watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's true.
Which was, I think, good. I think parts of it were very, very strong. I thought the parts with Wyatt Russell.
Sebastian Stan can do whatever he wants forever.
Yeah. I thought parts of it were very strong, and then parts of it were just okay.
Yeah. But I love Marvel, and I love what they're doing, at least with their TV shows where it still is, like, quality.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't feel like it was a waste of time. Even if like parts of it weren't as strong, I'm still very into this
And sometimes show. like the previous Marvel Netflix shows, it felt like very separate from the end, like the actual cinematic universe. These feel very much tied into it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think they're doing a great job. Props
to them.
Although
Falcon's Captain America suit, I think, is bad.
Yeah.
With his like ears sticking out of his, I was like, that looks bad.
A lot of, like,
it's very comic accurate.
Yes.
Like, that's how he looks in the comics.
Yeah, just, like, looked like the flag, whereas, like, I feel like Captain America isn't that, like, bright. Like, I feel like Captain America has a lot more blue.
Dark blue, kind of dark, dusty blue.
Where, like, that was, like, literally an American flag on his chest.
I was like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
You look like an idiot.
Whoa. It was pretty cool, though. He goes on a good journey. Well, great. Okay. What are our questions? Here we go. What's your crush? What's my crush? I've been actually thinking about this all day.
Okay.
And I had like so many different crushes throughout the day, I felt.
Yeah.
But then there's this one. And it's one I always come back to. Is Tom Holland on his story today. He was playing guitar. And it's just like this little like diddly. And he kept messing up. And then he would go, bollocks. And then he would start over and mess up at the same spot. He's like, bollocks, I promise I'll get it. And they like kept doing it. And at the end, he's like, progress. One more time. And he played it. And he was like, I don't know why I keep speeding up at that part. And that's why I keep messing up. But there it is. And that was his story.
That's real.
And it was. It wasn't some like, it was just like some sweet like campfire, stupid strumming on a guitar. And Tom Holland didn't do it perfectly. And I don't know, there's something in that, you know?
Nice.
That's pleasant. Yeah.
Very
What's
good.
your crush?
I haven't thought of one. I like Jimmy John's.
When was the last time you had Jimmy John's?
This afternoon, actually. They did give us food at school.
Good.
They gave us some Jimmy John's sandwiches.
Free food is always a crush.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. And cleaning out the refrigerator.
That is a crush.
That's a crush.
Did you do that?
I did it slowly. But
yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. I was like, this has been here for a long time.
Yeah.
It's gone.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, sweet. What's that? Oh, you know what another crush is? Being on set.
Nice. Yeah, you get to be on set.
Yeah, I got to be in a commercial last week, and I hadn't been on a film set since like SCAD, and I was just so happy. I was like beaming. There's moments where I'm like so excited that I feel myself being like a huge dork and like needing to calm down, and I hadn't felt that way in a while, and I felt that on set, and it was so cool, and it was like with this great group of people, and yeah, that like made me really, really happy last week.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
What's the next question? The last one's, are you mad at me?
Right.
The middle question is, where are you going next? No. The middle question is, do you know? Are you just letting me struggle?
No, I don't.
I don't remember.
Where are you going next?
No, the middle question is, there's 3.
Yeah.
What's your crush? How you hanging? Why are you mad at me? What's the middle question? Are we going to have to go back and listen to one of our podcasts?
I think we might.
Wow. I can't think of it. Maybe it never existed. Sarah, do you feel hot today? That's the question.
That is the question. Do I feel hot today? Yeah, I mean, like, I think overall I feel pretty good. I showered, like, after I worked out and got home. So all day I kind of felt a little grubby. And then once I showered this evening, I felt really refreshed.
Solid.
So, like, now I feel like, and also I feel very hot in our apartment because guess what? It's 1,000,000 degrees and we're cheap and refuse to turn on air conditioning.
Well, because we're just going to need to turn it off later.
Right. Because
it's
it
gonna be hot
snowed
for, like,
6 days ago.
It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot for 2 days, and then it's gonna go back to
cool
regular.
So
Which,
yeah,
I don't know why that makes sense in my mind, but
I guess it does. I don't know, but so I'm sweating.
Cool.
So it just both senses.
Literally hot.
Yeah. What about you?
I feel pretty hot. It was the seniors' last day of school today, so I got a lot more free time on my hands, which is pretty sick.
You've barely had a job all year, and now
That's not true. I work very hard when I'm at school. I do.
I believe it. When you have to be at school, there's a lot of free days.
I was at school all of April. And you know it.
Let's talk about February, huh?
You're still holding it over my head.
I will forever. Okay. Last question.
Are you mad at me?
No, I'm not mad at you.
I'm not mad at you either.
I didn't even have to ask. It's powerful.
Wow.
That's love.
Now that's me. Now that's a podcast relationship that can go far.
That's beautiful. I want to give out some shout outs to some other podcasts that you can listen to. I have a lot of time at work to listen to podcasts because I'm just typing away. Crime Junkie's a good podcast. I've talked about Even the Rich is a good podcast to listen to. They also have like one off of that. It's like kind of a sub podcast.
Is it called Even the Poor?
No, it's called In God We Lust. I don't know. But it's pretty fun.
Sounds scandalous.
Well, it's kind of about like the head of like a Christian church. And it was like a very like big media thing.
Cool.
And he kind of had a downfall, but it was like a Christian. I forget. Anyways, it's kind of interesting and I like the people who host. And then there's also one called, oh my gosh, I sent it to you. The Lazarus Tale? The Lazarus Heist. That's what it is. Nice. But it's on the BBC channel. for podcasts, and it talks about The Interview, that movie that came out that was so crazy with like James Franco and who else was in it?
Seth Rogen.
But it's about that movie and its effect like on the world and how like national leaders freaked out and then hacked Sony.
Everybody thought North Korea was gonna like go crazy.
Yeah, like theaters would not show it. So it kind of is just like talking about all that. And then we listened to a podcast together, and it was called like
I forget what it was called.
It was good, but we'll talk about it next time because it is really good.
Yeah, we should.
So prep.
What should we? Well, we don't have a play plan for next time. But,
yeah, we might have to take a. It might be back in 2 weeks because this next weekend my cousin's getting married, and so we have to go into Wichita for that. So it's another.
We'll be back when we're back. People.
May's crazy, you know.
Don't mark us on your calendar. All right, we'll be back when we feel like it.
Oh.
That's powerful.
I hope you guys come back. I hope you guys mark us down. Follow us.
No, I'm saying you can't. We're unpredictable.
Sure.
You can't mark us down.
Interesting. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Please give us a shout out. Slide into our DMs. I don't care.
Let us know you're out there.
We know you're out there. We know you're listening.
Oh, we know.
Will's going back and forth.
We can see the amount of listens.
Amazing. Okay. We love you and good night.